As you must have already heard, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was in Benue State earlier today. He visited the victims of, the attacks in the hospital. He was also welcomed by students of Benue government secondary schools in the rain, despite the fact that, it was raining. The students stood in the rain, and waited for his convoy to pass. He finally, went to visit victims at the hospital. He also gave a speech where he questioned why these perpetrators have not been apprehended, contrary to the earlier statements he gave before visiting, where he mentioned reconciliation, and, that has generated a lot of, criticism, where most people think that, how can you reconcile these terrorists, because we can only call them terrorists, these EDA terrorists and bandits, with victims who have lost family members. So there are some families that, they only have one survival, and there are some families that have none. So how do you reconcile this situation? But anyway, this is a swift U-turn from his earlier statements. Before we delve right into the details of today's news, if this is your first time here, you have not subscribed to this channel, what are you doing? Please make sure you subscribe to this channel, turn on the post notification bell as well. Don't forget to also give this video a massive thumbs up, because that way we're encouraged to keep giving you more reliable and authentic news. Lastly, please leave your opinions in the comment section below. Without delay, let's delve right into the details of today's news. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has visited surviving victims of last Friday's massacre in the Yewata community of Agoma local government area of Benue State. Newsroom Nigeria reports that Tinubu arrived in Makurdi, the state's capital, on Wednesday, and went straight to the hospital after arriving at the Tactical Air Command, Nigerian Air Force Base, Makurdi, at about 12:58 p.m. The president reportedly later left the hospital for the new banquet hall of the Benue State Government House, where he is expected to meet with major stakeholders in the state in view of violent attacks that have led to the loss of lives. Meanwhile, the state government declared a public holiday for the president's visit. The president's visit followed the attack on Yewata, which left over 200 people dead and several others injured. According to sources, the attackers stormed the town early in the morning, splitting into 3 groups to perpetrate the community from multiple directions. Residents who spoke at the scene of the attack said the invaders opened fire in turns to confuse and divide local security efforts. Let's have your total new opinions in the comment section below. What do you all think of this? Before we go, guys, let's take a look at some of the reactions we got online. Margaret Isioma says, God will bless Peter Obi. This is the essence of having a viable opposition in a democracy. Who says Obi is not working? Cindy says, Tinubu is a very useless president, just as his stupid and evil predecessor, Buhari. Another comment here is from Patrick, who says, well, kudos to the president for visiting the victims. What Nigerians will appreciate more is political will to end all forms of terrorism, banditry, kidnappings, and the likes. I think that in this 21st century that we are in, it's high time to stop the archaic, way of doing things. We cannot, keep doing things the old way and we are expecting new results. It's not possible. The habits or the way of life of these Fulani herders, taking their cows from one place to the other to graze, and to graze on, people's farms. It's just not the way forward. Things just has to change. There needs to be regulation, that have been put in place to caution and curtail this. Because as long as this continue, as long as, these herders are able to take their cows from one place to the other to graze freely, this problem, this killing, these massacres will continue to happen, will continue to, mourn, will continue. The president will just only go there to visit and, that is it. I just think that at this point, there needs to be a lasting solution. It's not just about the president going to, console these people. It's not just about the state government announcing a public holiday because the president is coming to his state probably for the first time in how many years. So he sees it as a big deal. Instead of, announcing about 5 days of mourning in the states, he's announcing public holiday because the president is, about visiting the states. You can imagine that. You can imagine the priorities here. There is more priority because of political alignments, political allegiance. You have to write a letter specifically just because you want students to give the president a rousing welcome to your state. You had to give instructions so that students will be sent out in the rain to welcome the president. A visit that is supposed to be a solemn one because people have died. More than 200 people died in Benue State, but it seemed like the state governor is seeing it as a normal thing. That probably happens every day because I think that people are no longer shocked about, these insecurity issues we have in the country. When it started happening, everybody was paying attention to it. But now I think it has gotten to a stage where people now see it as, oh, it's normal, it's the norm. Figures do not even scare people. I don't even see the anger in people to want to protest because of, these massacres and all of these insecurity issues that we are facing. And like I said, the federal government needs to do something about it, and they should stop, treating these issues with kids' glove. How can Fulani herders be able to carry AK-47 freely, and these, normal Nigerians, normal Christians, farmers are not able to do the same to protect their families, to protect their communities? They are not able to carry gun as well. These people are dying daily, and the security agencies are not even doing anything, to help the situation. Even the president was asking that how come the perpetrators have not been arrested? No perpetrators have been arrested so far. The same thing happened in Plateau State, where these people just go into communities and, ransack the community, burn down every living thing in the community. And I don't think there were nobody arrested. Nobody was arrested from those incidents in Plateau State. And the same thing is happening in Benue State again. And then you blame people for being angry. And then you blame people for, burning those herders or those hunters that got burnt in Edo State. Do you blame them? When the government do not do, they do not take drastic actions, in situations like this, then people are left with no choice, to do it themselves, which is why you have, that event that happened in Edo State that will happen. And if the government still do not do anything about it, if care is not taken, I think that we might see a repeat of what happened in Edo State, because the people have no option now than to defend themselves. How can Fulani herders be able to carry AK-47? And farmers are not able to do the same. But when an ordinary person carries a gun, it becomes a crime. But when you see a gun with a Fulani person, a Fulani herder, it is not a crime. It's just, the equation is just not balanced. It's just not adding up. It's just not adding up. There needs to be lasting solutions to this. Enough of a nomadic grazing, nomadic way of life. There needs to be modern solution to this new problem that we are now facing. There needs to be new solutions to it. New solutions. Let's have your thoughts and your opinions in the comment section. Thank you very much for always listening and watching. If you have not subscribed to this channel, this is your first time here, please do well to subscribe, guys. I will see you all in my next video.